Hey all. So I posted a little demo of the interdimensional doorway the other day. This is a prototype, something I designed a long time ago, like you know, in the 2010s probably. Um, and it's designed around a well-known voice modulator chip. Um, I love special function chips like that because I look at them, I look at the data sheet, and I think, how can I exploit this device and make it do things it's never supposed to do, or just how do I conquer this problem so that I can make it do this? Um, I love it. It's part challenge to myself, part just like people. It's funny how so many designers move on to the next big thing instead of fully exploring a device until you've explored it fully. Um, Seems ridiculous to me, but people, it's like anything. People want to do the next cool thing, and with pedals, you always see it's like they just jump from one thing to the other, and everybody just follows along, and it's just silly. And you know, the world would be a better place if people spent more time, you know, exploring. Anyway, that's my little rant. Um, so after I posted that demo, there's a lot of positive feedback, and it wasn't even working. The pedal wasn't even working right. So late one night, I thought, well, let me see if I can get this thing working, because this is back at a time when I wasn't, before I even started using like Vero board. This is all perf board with like the IC is like wire wrapped. Um, I just hadn't. I'd been doing just like point to point on perf board up until that point, and I wasn't ready to get doing the Vero board route. Just it didn't at the time. Just seemed like more work because I wasn't familiar with it as I am with the point to point stuff. Which that all that is just me telling you that because the inside of this is like a rat's nest of wires, and of course it's a prototype, so I don't tend to care. I don't try to make it look pretty inside when I'm doing that. I just want to get to the end result and see if my all my ideas gel together and work the way I had planned. Um. So anyway, yeah, this modulator chip, it's meant to. There's been other pedals that have been, uh, used this IC. I should have put this out when I first designed it, and then I could have been the first. But oh well. Um, but yeah, where am I going with this? So yeah, the chip, it's designed to change the pitch of your voice, kind of in stages, and then there's like this random scrambleized feature that is kind of my favorite feature of it. It just gets this like rhythmic, robotic, electronic thing that's just kind of awesome. And then I figure out how to push it even further, where it's just like glitching out like crazy. Um, I guess the higher um, pitch up transposition feature is kind of more like where's my brain going with this? Bit crushing and stuff. Um, but along with just that feature of the chip, there was a vibrato feature, which I I was trying to figure out a way to implement it um, via foot switch, but the way it was designed into the chip, it didn't really facilitate. So it took me a while really to get that to work the way I wanted, and I was like super proud of myself once I did get it going. Because at the time, early on, I, in my design work, I got this. I solved problems, but I never sure how I got to the point where I could figure it out. Sometimes I just felt like I had some hidden hand at work helping me along with these things, because I would just be like, I don't know why this works. I don't know why I came up with this idea, but the end result is good, so it's good. Um, and you'll see it's the FM feature, which is a foot switch and it has a knob. It's it says FM, which is what vibrato is. So it gets this. It might sound crazier than it is, but it does this like warping. It's not just normal kind of vibrato. It's just like wonky craziness, and it's very much dependent on what the frequency controls are. Frequencies control the rate of the modulation of the um, the pitch shifting up or down, or I keep forgetting the next part of it goes from one pitch to a lower pitch to a lower pitch, then it goes to something that's supposed to make you sound like a robot, um, which kind of is that, but I kind of pushed it into this other realm, which is kind of awesome. And there's two frequency rates, so that it's kind of like a coarse and a fine tuning control. Um, there's a filter. This is just a low pass filter. There's gain. This is the gain of the preamp. There's no pre. It's funny. I didn't really add much in the sense of like extra op amps and things like that to this. I wanted to try to get away with, doing as little as I can, which is how I roll, and amazingly worked out. But this is set up so you can have more gain, and as you turn it up, it'll start to distort. The parallel control, just like on the Dolman, is a clean blend that you can pull in. Another thing I was proud of without having to add, an extra amplifier in stage. And sorry, I pat myself on the back. Oh, and then last but not least, this envelope CV. So this has a Vactral controlled CV circuit that controls it creates this like sweep of the frequency range, as you'll see, and then there's a sensitivity. So depending on how hard you hit, just like on a envelope filter, kind of. So yeah, I'm gonna sell this now that I fixed it. Oh, and there's also this, which was actually supposed to be a video out, but the only problem was I realized, because at the time I didn't have any flat screen TVs. I just had old bubble TVs, and I realized it only works on the bubble TVs, the CRT. See, it wasn't work. It didn't seem to work on any of the modern flat screens. So I don't even know if it works still, but just figured I'd point that out. What am I doing? Jeez, should have tuned before I did this. All right, so let's see here. Try to do this in a way that's not so chaotic as my normal. This is the bit crutch. As you can see, the rate, it's very its intensity is very much dependent on these controls. Later on, you'll see it gets a little. You can get it to be a little more intense. That's the envelope filter. This is the low pass filter if you want to. That's the parallel. Alright, we'll move on to, hopefully this is not distorting the crap out of. This is just the pitch shifting part going in stages, slowly going lower and lower. This is my favorite feature of the pedal, this setting. That's supposed to be the robot sounding. You can hear that the rate is so low that it can't even catch up with my playing. I'm playing at one rate, and it's just waiting to finish a cycle to latch on to what I'm playing again. some that sound with this effect going on, and then the clean blend coming in. It's like I there's just an album or a tune in my head from like 70s, late 70s, like electronic, like something like Held In or Richard Pinhas stuff, or I don't know. There's something I can't quite put a finger on and it's cool how it creates. There's a delay between the effect and the clean blend going through, so you get this reverb or like slight delay effect, from it. Sorry, my playing is just nonsense, but. Some reason the FM rate is not working. It's like I said, it's a little wonky. So I'll try to fix that, or you'll just have to add that into subtract that from the price. I'll sell it at. And there's some jacks on the side of here. I believe this feeds a CV into here instead of using the envelope follower inside of here. And one of these, I think, allows you to have an external version of this foot switch for I don't know reason really. And I don't know what the other one of those do, but that's okay. It already does a lot of things. I would. And of course, you can plug whatever you want into this thing. Keyboard or bass or vocals, which is kind of, I guess, what it was originally designed to do. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'm gonna charge for it just yet. Maybe I'll see who has the best offer or something. Like I said, it's a little wonky inside, and You want to be kind of careful, I suppose. But I think I fixed it up so that it's pretty solid now. Um, so yeah, all right, y'all. Thanks.